look wonderful. You're outside.
Yes, I am. The wind is not blowing yet. And you'd love this little desk I have set up here. I'm trying to learn to sit still, as somebody has suggested to me.
Well, it's
And
interesting you say that because I've been watching some video of myself, and boy, am I squirrely.
oh, really?
Yes.
Well, anyway, I've got a little desk set up here. I've got this huge ladder under my feet, and I'm sitting on a bar stool from the bar. It's a pretty interesting little setup I've got here.
You're just fabulous. And there's a big backhoe behind you, and then a little outhouse
No, it's not an out.
or shed.
I don't know what it is. There's a truck. There's a grain truck. There's
I love it.
all kinds of equipment back there. Yeah, some of it works.
Today's the first day of autumn,
Yes.
the autumnal equinox.
Yep.
So, I'm a Libra. And so Libra's all about balance and harmony, right?
Absolutely.
And today is the day where we have equal light and darkness going into more darkness, where the nights get longer until the winter solstice, of course. So it's an interesting day for me. It's a day of reflection, um, and really looking at how I've balanced my life over the past year. Um, and that whole law of harmony. I talk about the universal laws, and that I ascribe to the laws of the universe. Um, and that law of harmony, I think, is one of the grandest, if you will, if you can
Uh-huh.
pick one, right? Because unless we're in harmony, things don't flow.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah. Hmm. So I'm very much in a contemplative mood this morning. I woke up kind of that way, and my energy yesterday was, you know, I don't know if I was sluggish. I was trying not to judge it or, label it, but I was slow, and I didn't really feel like doing anything physical. Kind of sat around all day, stayed in my head. Um,
Yeah.
which isn't a bad thing, again, no
No.
judgment. Um, but this time of the year, as we lose the sunlight, I tend to dip into that depression, that so many of us experience. So how have you been feeling, energy and mood wise?
Well, this is my favorite time of year. Totally favorite time of year. But yesterday, I had an angry day. I
Oh,
woke up angry, don't even know why. Then I tried to accomplish something technology wise that
oh.
blew up. And then I went and looked at the card that I'd drawn the night before for 24-hour period, and it said, don't push the river. If things seem to be blocking your way, then, but I'd put a deadline on something because I wanted a piece out today for the autumn deal.
Mhm.
It may still happen, but it didn't happen the way I thought it should.
Right.
So yeah, I love where you're coming from too. I think we ought to draw a card first thing this morning and see where that takes us.
Yeah, I think pulling a card's a good idea, and I think I'm going to use the Spirit Animal Oracle. I've been really drawn to this a lot more lately. I go in fits and starts with it. Um,
Excellent. Excellent.
so I feel a need to converse with the animal world a little bit more.
I've had a lot of owls in my world, and the other night we heard this strange noise, and suddenly it dawned on us that we had these last year, and it's a screech owl.
Yeah.
It's very big, very grayish, um, and it has made itself very obvious to me. I was walking with a little girl the other morning that had stayed out here all night, and it flew out right in front of us. She was just so thrilled.
Oh, I bet. And those are like you said, those are huge, that wingspan, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we have a lot of barred owls around here, and they have a really nice sound. It sounds like they're saying, "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you?" And,
Really.
uh,
And don't they have the sweet little flat faces?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
right. But when they have sex, let me tell you, they sound like they're laughing hysterically, kind of like that,
Oh
like,
my God.
but a
Oh my
lot
God.
louder. They're like, they're really, the first time I heard it, I'm like, what's so funny out there? Like,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Pure joy. Pure joy.
yeah, it's really, they have some interesting sounds, but when they're going for prey, they sound much like I would think a screech owl sounds like, because
Yeah.
that is like a scream, like, and something's happening, that's a little ominous, so
Something's going to heaven.
something like that, yeah. Of course, they probably think that when they're having sex too, so I'm telling you, I'm in a mood today. Uh, Let me just do a little more shuffling. I think you should come up with a question because I always come up with the questions.
I just, I think things are pretty simple. And I came across something that I'd written down some time ago, and it said, our whole purpose this lifetime is to let go of fear and be in love.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking, okay, give us a little guidance there. You know, maybe we're missing something there that, I think things are simple, and then we get all con, something. We get all in our head too much,
Yeah.
and then everything gets hard.
What do we need to know about releasing fear and embracing love for our highest good?
That's good. That's good.
I'm writing the question down.
Oh, did you?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes that helps the intention for me when I feel foggy, like I do a little bit today. Writing it out and having it there, I think helps the universe, helps the clarity of the question.
Well, and I think it helps us remember the question when we start looking at our cards too.
It's interesting. I felt the need to pull two, and I pulled number 36, koi fish spirit.
Okay.
There is
Okay.
always enough. And I did pull that in the reverse position, so that's a little extra medicine. And then I pulled porcupine spirit, which is time for beginner mind. And I love this image of the porcupine, right?
Yes.
It's such a cool image. And that is number 48.
And did you pull
Um,
that upright?
that one I did pull up right.
So we have
And
a 9 and a 3, which I know that, sometimes that no one's thinking about the numbers on the cards, but to me, it always comes up.
right,
So I think about 9 being completion or global, also global. 9 means global.
right.
And then the 3 being manifestation, something's getting ready to manifest.
Mm, I like that a lot. So the protection message for koi fish spirit, are you feeling a sense of scarcity? Afraid you will not have enough and not be enough to meet the challenges you face? Whatever your outer conditions, they are temporary and reflecting what was set forth in the past. Koi fish spirit is your ally in changing those conditions by transforming your inner beliefs about scarcity and plenty. Perhaps you have suffered a loss or are afraid you soon will. Or you have been scraping by and feeling there are simply no opportunities available for you to better your circumstances. Koi fish asks you to find prosperity within you by connecting to spirit through spiritual practices. Spirit wants to remind you that your natural state is one of abundance. Remember, all you have to offer. Remember all you have to offer so that you can generate your own opportunities, love relationships, and even more. Even if you have little to give right now, find it within you to give to someone else, even if it is just a few encouraging words, a smile, or a helping hand. Your action will remind you that you have more than it appears, more gifts, more strength, more wisdom, more abundance. As you give to others, your own sense of prosperity grows, and your outer conditions begin to shift in an alchemical reaction. Prosperity and love are yours to receive, experience, and enjoy. Believe it. That's interesting. That last paragraph, I mean, a lot of this resonates for me because I get stuck in that lack of abundance. There's not enough in terms of I have to go back and work and make more money in the traditional sense instead of doing what I love in my authenticity in my own private practice, right? So that's kind of an ongoing theme of mine throughout. However, the last paragraph is interesting because this morning, as I was tending to my ancestor altar, which we've talked about in previous episodes, I was reflecting on autumn and harmony. And I'm very privileged, and I sometimes feel the privilege of being privileged, and it's not a good feeling. It's unsettling. And so I thought, well, how can I harmonize that feeling? And it was about, am I truly helping others? Am I truly sharing my privilege? Am I, we can say we give, we help, or, oh, Marianne's a good person. She's always there to listen and she'll do anything for you. That's the stuff that comes easy for me because that's just how I'm wired. Am I taking that another step though? What am I actively doing to try to harmonize so that there truly is enough for everybody? So this is a different twist on the message for me today, because usually it's about my own sense of scarcity, and there's not enough clients in the world for me and for everybody else. There's not enough of this or that. Well, today I really need to look at, am I sharing in all the abundance that I do have? Am I truly balancing and harmonizing that? You're awfully quiet.
Well, because I like what you're saying. I like what you're saying, and a couple things have come up. I'm thinking about a little bit about, it's no accident that you're where you're at.
Right.
You're privileged because that gives you the opportunity to do the work that you came here to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the work that seems to come so naturally is your gift.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes instead of being in the moment, that we still manage to fall back into that old story of I'm not worthy. When here we are, nothing could be more worthy than God, and that's who we are. That's, we're God experiencing as a human, and our whole intent is to open up and let God work through us, and that's what your authenticity is all about. That's what you're doing when I don't care whether you're listening to somebody or doing an oracle reading for somebody or what else, but that's where you need to be in the moment and know that you are enough. You're more than enough. You're doing huge work. it's interesting because I think we all think we're not reaching enough people. And and it would be nice to reach more people. But I was reading in the Cryon book where he said, you will find that you will make the biggest difference one-on-one, some of you. So I think if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. And it's especially nice when you can accept that and know that you're taken care of. Now everybody's got their own little challenge. They've all set up their own challenges,
Sure.
So it's okay to be exactly where you are.
And learning to accept that.
Absolutely. Because you are making a huge difference in other people's lives.
Well, it was interesting because this morning when that feeling came over me of that privilege, um, and I thank my ancestors for that. That's, I was at my ancestor altar, and so I know that my ancestors were thirsty and hungry and worked literally to the bone so that I can live this free, authentic life. And so I was paying homage to them and honoring that. Um,
And
and pardon, go ahead.
well, and to go back on what we had talked about before, I believe that you probably were your ancestors. So you have done your time on that level.
That's a whole other that's a
I
whole
know.
other episode, JoAnn.
Yeah.
um,
But I'm just saying it's you are entitled to where you are right now.
so you were really picking up on that. That is where I see my scarcity and my lack today. Uh,
Yeah.
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 You're not buying the fact that I need to share more to equalize and harmonize more.
No, I think you do what comes from your heart. And if that means you go out and you gift somebody on the corner with a lunch, that's okay too. But you don't need to do it unless that's where it's coming from.
I think we need to move on to porcupine spirit
Okay.
because I think that will give us, I love when I pull more than one card, it's a story in motion, right? And
Right.
the story just for today, for right now. Tomorrow, God knows what the story will be.
Right. Right. But you pull two cards for balance also, probably.
See, I needed
Yeah.
harmony. There was too
Yeah.
much scarcity in one. All right. Porcupine, who I'm having a hard time finding here in my little guidebook. There we go. Time for beginner mind. When porcupine spirit calls your name, you are being asked to adopt a beginner's mind and to approach situations with innocence and curiosity. The old, confining stories no longer have a hold on you. Life is full of surprises hiding in plain sight. Oof. Looking at the world afresh with new eyes can help you find what you have been seeking, whether it is a relationship, an opportunity, or evidence that you have all you need right now to co create what you desire. Who knew? Porcupine asks you to be playful and have a childlike curiosity. There is so much waiting for you that you have yet to discover. Well, that lightened things up quite substantially. Um, Wow, I love that concept of approaching situations with innocence and curiosity. The old confining stories no longer have a hold on you. And that's what you help me with so much, JoAnn, is reminding me of those old confining stories that I hold on to, that I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, you know, I haven't suffered enough. Why do I have this privilege? I'm not sharing it enough. So,
Those are lies that we've been told all of our lives, all of our many lives. So we do attach to them, but they're not truth.
right.
And when you're as a child, truth does not need to be described for you. It just is. And so when we're in the moment,
Mm.
and accepting something just as it is, that's when we're real. That's when we are creating our own reality, and we allow all the lies to to untransmute. I'm making up words to uh,
It works.
to become light, to become light.
Yeah.
So there's your balance.
Right.
It's like being who you are and enjoying who you are in the moment. Even when you're feeling melancholy, it's okay. We don't have, if we can just feel melancholy, this is really hard, and not go back on things that make us feel melancholy. Just be in this moment saying, okay, where's this coming from this moment?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of journaling coming on around all this today. Um,
Interesting. It'll be nice to hear what you come up with.
and I'm looking back at the question, what do we need to know about releasing fear? And that's that coin in reverse, those old stories about being not being good enough, because that, for me at least, and clearly today's episode is all about me. Um,
No, it's about a lot of people, I guarantee you.
I don't have my "It's all about me" mug today, too. Amazing that. But that fear of not being enough, of not doing enough, of not sharing enough, of not getting the word out enough, of whatever, you know, that's the fear. And embracing the love is about that childlike, the porcupine, that innocence, right? That curiosity. And I loved when you said, when you were a child, truth doesn't need to be explained to you, truth just is. That's an incredible quote for you. I think you should use that. Um, I'd put that on a mug for sure. So,
Well, it's just hard to wrap your mind around it a little bit too, though. Everything seems to need to be explained.
yeah,
But so
yeah,
it's an interesting concept.
yeah. So when we're out of topics, which I never think will happen, we'll go back to this episode because I think we've brought up a million different topics in this episode.
I agree. I agree.
It's that time now for the activation meditation.
Okay. Okay.
Of course, I sprung that on you again.
Oh, yes,
I could
always.
see that in your face.
Well, I'm waiting for my inspiration.
Oh boy.
There's a lot of different directions to go here. So, okay. So, oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, let's take some deep breaths into our heart because we now live in a heart world where love is everything. So take another deep, deep breath and see that light of the Christ that's within you. It's a golden white light. See it just fill your entire body, every cell, every atom, every piece of you until it just flows out from you. And you appear as an amazing light. And today we're going, we talked about the porcupine and he's coming back into my head, and we're talking about fall, and we're talking about equality and harmony. And so we look at a little porcupine, we're watching one, and they're totally into the moment,
Mm.
into their own selves. They will not bother anyone if they don't bother them. Maybe their worst attribute is they may eat a tree till it's dead or something like that. But for the most part, they just want to be left alone. They're just doing their thing, living their life. And you know, we all run around with the fear of the quills in our mind. But look at those quills. Look at the quills on this porcupine that we're looking at. And they've got like rainbow colors.
Mm.
Every quill filled with light, but they're all different colors. And so when a porcupine releases its quills, and it really doesn't release them. Somebody has to touch a porcupine before they receive a quill. And this porcupine wants to give. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. So all you need to do, there's no harm in these quills. These are light quills.
Mm.
So take a breath and pick a color and just barely touch the quill you want. And it'll come to you. Oh, and it'll have such a blessing meant strictly for you.
Mm.
Strictly for you, whether it's balance, whether it's harmony, whether it's knowledge, whether it's wisdom, whether it's laughter or joy. Whatever quill you picked is the perfect one for you. And this porcupine has simply just gifted you with this. Because it lives in the moment. It lives in truth. There are no stories. There are no lies. Porcupine doesn't have that. So she has just gifted you with the blessing, with the assistance that you need. So take that message, combine it with this light that you are radiating, totally radiating out. Combine it with that and shine your light, totally saturate our Mother Earth. And as you do that, you see the fall colors in the areas where it is fall. You see those beautiful rusts and browns and yellows and reds and golds just take on an amazing, amazing light. And as you saturate the Mother Earth, you are sharing the light of the Christ and your special blessing. This is a magic time. We live in a magic time where we came here to step away from the cloak of fear and walk into the permanent robe of love. And that's where we're at. We are stepping between the two. We were almost into the love, the peace, the paradise. So take another deep breath. And another. Exhale. And allow all this light to remain with you and to continue to overflow out into the rest of the world. Knowing that you are more than enough. And it is done.
And so it is. That was so much fun. It was so beautiful. And when you said that the porcupine had rainbow colors, I'm like, great, it's a gay porcupine.
Oh my God, I did not think of that. Oh, my gift, my gift.
I love you, my dear. Till next
I love
time.
you too. Namaste.